My name is Alan G. Thole. I joined the Navy in May 6th of 1963. I joined and I was discharged on May 6th of 1969. My rank when I got out was a E5. It was an IC-2 SS submarines. So then they transferred me to the USS Bang, SS-385. And that was in 68, I think it was like in April 68, something like that. And then I stayed on board that until I got out in 1969. When I was on board the Bang, it was a typical thing. You went out Monday morning for the most part, came back in on Friday afternoon, went out and played war games with the fleet. The second patrol we were on, we were out there, and when you're on patrol, you just cruise at a fairly shallow depth because you got a big long wire out behind you that picks up messages, and you go along only at maybe a very slow speed. And we had all of a sudden sonar picked something up, and it kept getting louder and louder, and they finally recognized it as being the screw of a Russian submarine. They had an odd number of blades on their screws, and we had an even number. And anyway, basically nothing happened. It was just information that came to the crew later on. There was really no big detail as to how close they got or where, you know. But anyway, the bottom line was we both just turned around in our own direction. That was the end of it. Oh yeah, we were both down at the North Atlantic. But yeah, that was probably the most exciting thing that really happened. The only other thing was the North Atlantic at the wintertime gets horrendous storms. So at the shallow depth we'd be at, the storms would be so violent that the northern winds and stuff that our boat would rock probably 25, 30 degrees continually, 24 hours a day. And it went on for 2 weeks. These storms would last up there for a couple, 3 weeks at a time. And so, you know, it's pretty hard to serve meals or anything else when you're rocking and rolling that bad. And so every once in a while, the captain at like 2 a.m. in the morning, he would say, take her down to 350 feet. And we'd go down there for maybe 2 or 3 hours, maybe 4 hours at a time. The problem with doing that was then that antenna we carried out behind us, you wouldn't pick up, we were down too deep to pick up messages, so you couldn't stay down there too long. But even at that depth, you'd still have a gentle rock and roll. It wouldn't be much, but there'd still be something there. So those storms were really bad. And the only, when we were up in shallower depths doing all the rock and rolling, the only positive silver lining part of it was the Russian trawlers up there on top that were disguised as fishing trawlers, but were filled up with all kinds of electronic searching gear to try and track us down there, and them guys were up there bobbing around a lot worse than we were. But that was about the most other exciting thing that ever happened on patrol. Otherwise, it was pretty mundane. Just get up and take watch and get off and eat and sleep. But we did do a Mediterranean cruise, which we left in July, and we came back the end of August. Or the end of October. And when we came back, I spent maybe another month on the boat. And then they transferred me, because I was getting out, they transferred me